Shalom. First of all, I'd like to start by giving all praises and glory due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to the Arkim doing this work in sincerity and in truth. My name's Amos. This video is going to be entitled The End, Hard to Bear, or The End is Hard to Bear. Now, current events, what you have is, the protest, the so-called Black Lives Matter protest, regarding police brutality against Jake, and also systematic racism and a lot of injustices in general by Esau and these Edomites, right? And also you've got the impending World War III, vaccinations, RFID chip, and which is the mark of the beast. Now, right now, people ain't got a lot of work. People are in hard times because of this COVID-19 pandemic. Things are getting very hard to bear. And things are forecast by prophecy to get even worse. So to begin with, I'm going to start by reading 2 Timothy and the 3rd chapter. It says 2 Timothy 3:1. It says, "This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come." So from here, let's look at the concordance and look at the word perilous. Chelepos. It says hard to take, to approach, hard to bear, troublesome, dangerous, harsh, fierce, savage. Okay? So from here, let me look up this word. I'll do it by my phone. Savage. Bear with me one moment. It says, of an animal or force of nature, fierce, violent, and uncontrolled. Something bad or negative, very great, severe. A brutal or vicious person. And that's what you're going to be faced with. A lot of these people without moral, without conscience or values, people are going to be reduced to an animal-like state where they're not going to be concerned with things that people are concerned with now. They're going to become animal-like, so to speak, all right, for lack of a better word. And the outcome of that is everyone's only going to want to be in survival mode, doing anything to survive. So from here, let's go to my next precept, which is Genesis 19:4. Because when you look at the history, there's a lot to learn about perilous times, or times that are hard to bear. Now, just to bring you up on speed, if you haven't read this account, it's very popular in the minds of most people. Just a lot of people don't really understand the history of it, for those of you that ain't really into biblical studies. So anyway, what happened is, before Sodom and Gomorrah got destroyed, there were two angels that visited Lot. Now they entered his house, and then from the 4th verse, this is what happened. As you know, Sodom and Gomorrah was known for its homosexuality and, odious acts. So 2 angels had walked into the house of Lot. So let's read from verse 4. Genesis 19:4, it says, "But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter." All right, so they surrounded Lot's house. "And they called unto Lot and said unto him, Where are the men which came into thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them. And what they meant by know them is that they could have sex with them, all right, because they were homosexuals. It says then, so they wanted to rape the angels, man, all right. It said, then Lot went out at the door unto them and shut the door after him and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. So Lot pleaded with these wicked men. Behold, so that makes you think, where was Lot living that all these people were looking to just knock at a man's door, surround his house, and just take out who's inside and rape them. That shows you how wicked that place was. All right, and that's for a righteous man, it's very hard to bear. So Lot basically said, behold, now I have 2 daughters which have not known man, meaning that they were untouched women. They were young women of marriageable age. However, they had not had sex yet. All right, so they were literally virgins. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and ye to do to them as is good in your eyes. So that just shows you, man, that's what would make a man really have to the point where he's pressed so much that he would have to consider or say things are that bad and hard to bear. Let me just give you my daughters and you can do whatever you want with them. Showing you how hard the time that we're coming into is gonna be far worse than that which Lot had endured on that day. Because he had to even consider to say, you know what, you man want to rush into my house and rape who's in it. Let me just give you 2 females, which are my daughters, and you can, do as you please with them. Showing you that in the time we're coming into, people are going to be pressed for survival. Their life's going to be on the line, man. And you're going to be doing anything, offering a lot of people are going to be offering anything for their survival. Now it goes on to say, behold, now I have 2 daughters which I have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof, because it was an important thing to protect, and it was a good custom to protect and also to take care of the people that visit your home, and that was an important value amongst our people. With everything it was with everything you had, you would make sure that you take care of the people that come to your home, showing you can't let anybody and everybody in your house. Continuing on. It says, and verse 9, and they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came into sojourn, and he will needs be a judge, being that, this guy, he's come here to stay among us, and he wants to tell us what to do. Now will we deal worse with thee, than with them. So they said, look, man, we're going to rape them and we're going to rape you. And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door. All right, so they was that wicked that they wanted to break the door to get to the angels and perform homosexual acts, man. All right, and rape men. But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them and shut the door. Now, that's heavy, man. That shows you how serious the times that are going to come are going to be, amongst all the things that I mentioned in the beginning of the video, even more so when it comes to men and their household and the people that are in it. And sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but in people's despair and civil unrest and people not listening to their governments, there's going to be a lot of crime and criminal activity going up. And one of those crimes that will go up is going to be rape, whether it be of females or whether it be of men. And that's the type of hard to bear and perilous times that we're coming into. So that was just an example. So from here, let's go to Daniel 12:1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, all right, Israel. All right, the angels in many circumstances, as one of the accounts that we just read back in Genesis regarding Lot, the angels, the Heavenly Father has the angels to bring deliverance to us, man. The Lord will set up the angels to destroy a particular place, and we'd have a deliverance from the circumstances that we're in. And in the time that we're coming into, Yahweh Shai is going to be bringing deliverance to our people. All right, his name, Yahweh Shai, literally means salvation. Okay. Now it says, and at this time shall Michael stand up, because the Lord's going to come back with the angels, and namely the angel Michael, that great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. So more than any other time that's been on the earth, including the account that I read, things are forecast to be a lot worse. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. So unless you're one of the Lord's elect, one of the Lord's chosen to be saved out of this lower state, this captivity, and you're one of the sincere and hopeful elect, man, those things are going to lay hold upon you in some of the worst ways. Now let's look up the word trouble. Straits, distress, trouble, vexer, affliction, adversity, anguish, tribulation. All right. Not to mention, when the angels return, there's going to be a lot of destruction, as was in the time of Lot, when the people of that city got burnt up and was reduced to ashes because of the wickedness in the city. Well, that's going to happen on a vast majority of the earth, but mainly upon that place known as America today. All right. And according to prophecy, America is going to be completely destroyed. But that's for another video. So let's go to Amos. Excuse me. Amos 5:18. It says, "Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord," which the day of the Lord is when the Lord Yahweh Shai returns with the angels To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. As if a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on a wall, and a serpent bit him. So you're going to go through all different tribulations and difficulty, all right? And it's not going to be alleviated. It's not going to wear off. There's going to be one problem to a new problem to a worse one. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light? Because a lot of people are under the impression that when the Lord returns, it's just going to be a thing of celebration and all the something of splendor or something like that. No, man, it's going to be a very difficult and dark time. In fact, let's look at the word darkness. So, Lakia, the internet's giving a bit of problem here. If it don't work, it don't work. You can look it up for yourself. Concordance. There you go. Darkness, obscurity, night. Which, well, it even says there's sorrow. All right? A time of great sorrow. So people think the day of the Lord is going to be a time of mirth. Well, no, it's going to be a time of sorrow, a time of mourning. Even very dark. So it's going to be very, very sorrowful, very dark. And no brightness is in it. So from here, let's go to Jeremiah 30. Verse 5 to 7. It says, "For thus saith the Lord, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace." You see that? Fear and not of peace. "Ask ye now, and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness." So from the scriptures, you can see the men are going to be as women that are giving birth, with basically in a lot of despair. Something that you're going through that's causing a lot of pain, and there's no comfort for it but to go through it. And a lot of people are going to go through a lot of things that they can't even imagine would be possible. And the reason why is because we're at the end of this kingdom, and this is the most wickedest time that we're living in now compared to all times upon the face of the earth. And that's why this place is going to receive its great judgment, which is going to be that destruction through thermonuclear destruction, by shooting missiles across one place of the world to another place, and also by the fire that's going to come out of these chariots, all right? What people ignorantly call UFOs, the angels traveling, all right? And they're going to be firing them concentrated laser beams, man. So a lot of people ain't going to be able to deal with that. One thing to another. So anyway, that was just a quick video on the end and the things to come, giving examples from the scriptures to example the things which were written in prophecy that's gonna take place in the time we're living in. Hey man, people ain't prepared for what's written, man. So anyway, those people that think everything's gonna get better, things are forecast in the scriptures to get worse. So until the next video, I'm gonna say shalom.